Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 7 math. So we're working on the book Math Makes Sense grade 7. We're working on chapter 3, that is fractions, decimals and percents. And the lessons we're going to cover today are adding and subtracted decimals, multiplying decimals and dividing decimals. They are 3.3, 3.4 and 3.5. Let's just start with the lesson. Let's just start with the lesson adding and subtracting decimals. Okay, here I'm on the book. Lesson is adding and subtracting decimals. Let's just start with the decimals. So let's just start with the lesson as adding and subtracting decimals. Okay, here we are on the practice questions. Use friend and estimation to estimate sums or differences. Let me see which is front and estimation. Use friend and estimation. Hold on, let me just see front end estimation. Okay, so you have to subtract 2.876 and you want to learn about the whole numbers. Okay, let me just explain you what is whole number, then we'll go through the lesson, right? This one. So let me just explain what are the whole numbers. So integers, whole numbers are the numbers that include zero, right? What are whole numbers are? Whole number includes 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number without the decimal portion known as whole number, right? The numbers that don't have decimal fraction, the numbers without fractions are the whole numbers, right? They all are the from you start counting from 0 and go until end, they all are the whole numbers, right? You just need to learn about the whole numbers. Okay, let's just start with the first example. This is not the whole numbers we're working on, right? They are decimals. That this one 0.876 minus 0.975, they are the decimals, right? So let's just subtract the first one, 2.876 minus. Whole numbers are the numbers that are without decimal portion, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, they are the whole numbers. The numbers with the decimal 2.8, 1.8, they are the decimals. Whole means complete, right? So whole numbers mean the numbers that are without the decimal portion. Complete numbers. Decimal numbers are not the complete number. 1.8 is not a complete number, right? Whole, it is not a whole number. This one is 0, 1, 2, 3 are the whole numbers, right? Okay, so you have to subtract 2.876 take away 0.975. 2.876 take away 0.9. 0.975. Have you gone through the lesson for which you need help? 6 take away 5 is 1, 7 take away 7 is 0, 8 take away 9 is, you cannot subtract 8 out of 9, right? So you have to borrow 1. Here you have 1 and here you have 18. 18 take away 9 is 9 and that would be 1.9. So you have to estimate the answer. You have to round off the answer, right? So how can you round off? That is 1.9. So when you round off, it would be 2.0, right? 1.9 is rounded off to 2.0. So the correct option is 2.0. You can round off the number to 2.0. Okay, the next one is um 125.12 plus 37.84. 125.12 plus 37.84. Okay, you have to solve them using front end estimation, right? Front end estimation is you just have to subtract the whole numbers, right? So just use the decimals. 125 plus 37. 125 plus 37 is 162. So the sum is 162, right? The next one is the next one is 9.7 minus 1.36. 9.7 minus 1.36. So you have to use the method front end estimation. So just subtract their integer part. 9 minus 1, 9 minus 1, 8, 8. So their difference is 8, right? Okay, let's just start with the next question. The next question is the tallest building in the world is the Tepe 101 in Taiwan. Its height is 0.509 kilometers. The tallest building in North America is the Sears Tower in Chicago, USA. Its height is 0.422 kilometers. What is the difference in the heights of the building? So you have to find the difference between the both the height of both the buildings, right? So just subtract them. 0.509 minus this one is 0.509. This is question number 2. 0.509 and take away 0.4 something. Hold on. Okay, 0.442. Okay, let's just subtract 0.442. Okay, so let me just subtract 0.509 minus 0.442. So 9 minus 2 is 7. You cannot subtract 0 out of here is 4, so you have to borrow 1. Here you have 10, here you have 10 minus 4 is 4, 4 minus 4 is 0 and 0. So that means the difference between the heights is 10 subtract 4 is 6. So the difference between the height of the two building is 0.067. That would be the difference between the heights, right? Okay, let's just start with the next question. The next one, let me see how many questions do we have. Then we'll okay, let's just skip question number 3. Let's start with question number 4. A baker wants to a baker wants to make 3 different kinds of chocolate chip cookies. The recipe calls for 2.75 kg 4.4 kg and 5.55 kg of chocolate chips. The baker has 10.5 kg of chocolate chips. How many kilograms of chocolate chip does the baker need? Estimate you to check your answer is reasonable. Okay, let's just start with A part, right? The recipe call, okay, the recipe needs 2.75, 4.4 kg and 5.5 kg. Let's just add them, right? So they are 2.75, 4.4 and the actual, like the one you need to make the cookies, right? That is the one 2.75 plus 4.4 and plus 5.55. Let me just add 5 and 5, 10, 0, 1 carry, 5 and 4, 9 and 10, 7 and 17, 7, 1 carry, 4 and 2, 6 and 5, 11 and 1, 12. That would be 12.70. That means you need 12.70 chocolate kg chocolate cookies, but he have 10.5. You can see here the baker has 10.5 kg of chocolate chips, right? The B part is, does the baker have enough chocolate chips to make the cookies? No, he need 12.7 kg, but he have 10.5, right? So 12.7 is more than 10.5 kgs, right? Okay, let's just see question number 3. The baker wants to follow the recipe exactly. If your answer in part B is no, how many more kilograms of chocolate chips are needed? If you answer the part B, okay, the answer is in part B we answered no, right? Because the chocolate cookies he need to make the recipe is 12.7 and he have 10.5. Let's see how much he have to buy. What's wrong with the whiteboard? Hello. Hmm. Okay, hold on. Sorry, something went wrong with the whiteboard. Okay, so the actual need to make recipe is need to make cookies is 12.7 and he have 10.5. So let's just see how many extra he needed. More he needs, that would be 12.7 minus 12.7 minus 10.5, right? That would be 2.2 kg. That means he need 2.2 kg more, right? Okay, let's just move on to next one. Let's just start with question number 6. The Rob family and Chen family have similar homes. The Rob family sets its thermostat to 20 degrees C during the winter months. Its monthly heating bill were 171.23, 134.35, and 123.21. The Chen family used a programmable thermostat to lower the temperature at night and during the day when the family was out. The Chen family monthly heating bill were 134.25, 103.27, and 98.66, right? How much money did each family have? Okay, let me just add. Here I have numbers. Let me just add these numbers, then I'll go right in the mono. 171.23 plus 134.35 plus 123.21. Okay, the Rob family, the total amount for the Rob family is 428.79. Okay, the total amount for the Rob family is, the total monthly bill of the Rob family is 428.79, right? And let me just add the other family, Chan family, it would be 134.5 plus, no, sorry, 134.25 plus 103 103.27 plus 98.66. So when you add, that would be 336.18, right? That is the bill of the Chan family. Okay, the first part is how much money did each family pay to heat its home during the winter. So you can see the total amount Rob family pay is 428.79 and the total amount Chan family pay is 336.18, right? Okay, now the B part is how much more money did Rob family pay? Estimate to check your answer. Okay, you have to see how much more Rob family pay. So just subtract both the amounts, right? 420.79 minus 336.18. 428.79 minus 336.18. The difference is 992.16. That means Rob family pay $92.16 more than Chan family, right? Okay, the next part is What other things could a family do to reduce his heating cost, right? So you have to see what other things they can do to reduce their bill. I think they have to wear more, they have to dress warmly and lower the temperature, right? By lowering the temperature, they can reduce their heating cost, right? Okay, fine. Let's start with question number 7. Question number 7 is, what is the find two numbers with a difference of 151.297? You have to find two numbers that have difference 151.297. 151.297, right? Can be any number who have this difference, right? Okay, let me just think. 151. 351 minus 200, right? And for 0.297, 351.297 minus 200, right? You can see the difference is 151, right? It can be any number that you can think, right? Okay, the next one is, use each digits from 0 to 7 once to make this addition true. Find as many different answers as you can. Okay, you have to find two numbers whose sum is 5.788, right? And the numbers must be from 0 to 7, right? 5.788. Okay, you have to find two numbers whose sum is 5.788, right? Okay, you have to make 2 plus 6 make 8, right? Again, you can make 2 and 6 makes 8, 2 and 5 makes 7, and 2 and 3 makes 5, right? It can be any number you can make, right? All the numbers you can see are less than 7, so they are 2.222 and plus 3.566. Okay, let's just start with question number 9. A student subtracted 0.373 and 4.3. A student subtracted 0.373 minus 4.81 and got a difference of 0.108. What mistake did the student make? What is the correct answer? Okay, let's just subtract and see what mistake he made and what is the correct answer. Let's just find the correct one, then we'll find. Hold on. I got it. The mistake he made is, you can see the difference is 0.108, right? He have written 0.373 and he have written 0.41 4.81 as 0.48, right? Yes, that's the mistake he did. He did 0.481 minus 0.373, and when you subtract 11 take away 3 is 8, 7 take away 7 is 0.4. This could be the answer. That is the mistake he made, right? And the original difference you have to find is just subtract 4.81 and minus 0.373. It would be 3. You cannot subtract 1 out of 7, so 11 out 7 is 4, 7 take away 3 is 4, and 4 take away 0 is 0. That is the answer if he couldn't make a mistake, right? That could be the difference, right? 4.4 4. Okay, so that's the mistake he made. Okay, take two 4-digit numbers. Two 4-digit numbers when added, their sum is 3.3. What could be the numbers? Find as many different numbers as you can and show your work. So you have to find two numbers whose sum is 3.3, right? It can be any number you can think. So 3.3, right? So they are, according to me, they are 2.2 and 1.1, right? That's the one number. You have so many options. The other one is, you can see, it would be 1.3 and 2.0. So they can be any numbers, right? Okay, the next one is, the last one is, take it further. Find each pattern rule, explain how you find. Okay, you have to find a pattern rule. The pattern rule, how you find the pattern rule? Usually we subtract the second number out of the first one, right? Just take away 2.13 minus 2.09, that is 0.04. The pattern, you subtract the second number out of the first one, you will find the pattern. When you subtract 2.13 out of 2.09, the pattern is 0.04. Every time 0.04 is adding to get the next number, right? So you have to find the next number, just add 0. You can see when you subtract 2.13 minus 2.09, the answer is 0.04, right? That means for each next number you have to add 0.04. So you can add 2.21 plus, you just have to find the pattern rule. So the pattern rule for the first one is 0.04. Let's just see for the second one. Let me just subtract 5.385 minus 5.635, that would be 0.25. Let me just confirm. 5.135 minus 5.385, 5.135 minus 5.385, that would be 0.5. Just subtract the second number out of the first one, the difference is 0.5. So how do you find the pattern rule? You subtract the second number out of the first one and you'll get the pattern rule, right? Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just start with the next lesson. Okay, the next lesson is, I think, multiplying decimals. Yes, 3.4 is multiplying decimals. Let's just start with the practice questions. So multiplying decimals is very easy. Just multiply them like you do without decimals, and then you can put the decimal, right? Let's start with question number 2. Use base 10 blocks to find each product. Okay, use base 10 blocks to find each product. The product is 2.6 times 1.5. So basically you have to make a rectangle with a length of 1.5 and a width of 2.6, right? Okay, so you have to use a rectangle with a length of 2.6 and a width of 1.5. You have to then count the blocks in the rectangle. So you can see, because you have 2.6 times 1.5, right? I cannot make the rectangle on the board. I will just explain a question that is already done here, because making the rectangle is very difficult method. Okay, let's. At the farmer's market, 1 kg of the grapes cost 2.95. Just look at this one, 2.951. Okay, I am going to explain the example. Okay, at the farmer's market, 1 kg of the grapes cost 2.95. How much would 1.8? No, I have to explain. Okay, this one. A rectangular park measures 1.7 by 2.5, right? Okay, so you can see the rectangle. The length is 2.5 and the width is 1.7. 2.5. You can see two complete rectangles here, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same 1.7, right? On this side you have to represent 1.7. This one represents 1 and this one represents the 7, right? Okay, how do you solve it? There are flats. You can do this one, two on this on the length and one on the width, right? So you have to multiply two flats, 2 times 1. There are rods. Okay, let's see how many rods do we have. One, they are known as rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 rods do we have, right? Then you have to count the small cubes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 5, 35. You have 0.35, right? The small cubes would you have to multiply with 0.01, and the rods are multiplied by zero point 0.1. So the rods make 1.9 and the small cubes make 0.35. So you have, when you add them together, they make 4.25, right? Okay. One, multiply, describe any patterns you see. Let's just start with question number 4. I'm going to explain how do we multiply without using the rectangle model, right? I cannot make the rectangle model on the board. It's a long task. Let's start with question number 2. 2.6 times 1.5. Because you guys are in grade 7, I don't think so grade 7 you can do the same things in the school, right? Okay, let's just multiply. Let's forgot we have the decimal point, right? Let's just multiply without decimal point. Okay, 5 times 6 is 30. 0, 3 carry. 5 times 2 is 10 and 3 13. Now you're going to multiply the tens digits, so that's why I put 0 right below the ones digit, because you have to start writing the numbers right below the tens, right? 1 times 6 is 6 and 1 times 2 is 2. Just add them. 0, 6 plus 3 is 9 and 2 plus 1 is 2. So when you multiplied them without decimal, you have 290, right? So now you have to put the decimal point. So how do you put a decimal point? For both the numbers, you have decimal point, that is 2.13. For both the numbers, you have decimal point right after one digit, right? So 1 plus 1 makes 2, right? You both, that means in the answer you have to put decimal point starting from this side to right after the two digits, so you can put it here. So the answer would be 3.90. That's how you multiply. That would be 3.90. So the correct option is 3.90. Okay, let's just do another examples. The next one is multiply use, okay, 4.2 times 3.7. Okay, so let's just multiply them without decimals. So let's just multiply them without decimal point, right? 7 times 2 makes 14. 1 carry. 7 times 8 makes 28 and 129. Now you're going to multiply the tens digit. 3 times 2 is 6 and 3 times 4 is 12. Let's just add them, right? So it would be 4. 9 and 6 makes 15. 5 and 1 carry. 2 and 2 4 and 1 5, and here you have 1. Okay, now you have to put the decimal point. So in the both the numbers have decimal point right after one digit. So that means 1 plus 1 makes 2. In the answer, you must have put a decimal point right after two digits. So you always start with the rightmost digit and put decimal point over here. So it would be 15.4. The correct option is 15.4. Okay, so that's how you multiply decimals. Okay, let's just start with question number 6. Multiply, describe the pattern you see. Okay, let's just start with multiply. You have to multiply 8.36 times 10, right? So when you multiply 8.63, 8, sorry, you have to multiply 8.63 times 10, right? You move decimal point from here to here. Let me just write it down on board. I'll do it on board so that I can explain easily. 8.36 times 10, 100,000 and 10,000. Okay. Pattern is 8.36 times 10. You already did these patterns in the smaller grades. 8.36 times 1,000 and 8.36 times 10,000. So when you multiply the decimals with the powers of 10, right? What what you noticed, you simply move decimal point on the right hand side. When you multiply 8.36 times 10, that would be 83.6. When you multiply, because you have two zeros here, you have to move decimal point two digits, it would be 836.0. Here you have three digits, three zeros, so you have to move decimal point right after three digits. You have to add an extra zero to make three digits, right? Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, so you have to move decimal point 4 decimal places. You have to move from 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be now here, right? So the pattern you can see is when you multiply by 10, each time the product shift one position to the left otherwise, right? You can see the decimal point moves to left 1 point, right? When you are multiplying with the powers of 100. And the other pattern is 0.10. Okay, let me just explain the other pattern. The other one is 8.36 times 0.1, 8.36 times 0.01, 8.36 times 0.001, and 8.36 times 0.0001. Okay, now you're multiplying with 0.1, right? So decimal point is moving from here to here. It is moving on the right hand side, right? So it would be 0.836 because you multiplied 0.1, 0.01, two decimal places. You have to move decimal point two places left, right? Two places right, sorry. Two places right. It would be, you have only one place here, right? So for other one, you have to add zero. It would be 0.0836. You can see decimal point is moved from here to two digits, right? Then for the next one, you have to move three digits, 0.00836. Then you have 0.00086, right? Okay, let me see how many questions do we have. 0.4 today. Okay, let's just start with question number 8, multiply. Explain how you take your, okay, we just start with the first one, that is 2.7 times 4.786. Let's just multiply them without decimal, right? 2.7 times 4.786. Okay, so let's just start multiplying. You have to multiply. Let's just multiply them without decimal, right? So 4786 times 27, right? They are without decimal. So when you multiply them, let me just do it on calculator. I will just explain. When you multiply them, 4786 times 27, it would be 129222. Okay, so if you look at both the digits, in the first one you have decimal point right after one decimal place, and in the second one you have three decimal places. So 1 plus 3 makes 4. That means you have to move decimal point from here to four places, 1 2 3 4. So it would move from here. That would be 12.92222, right? Okay, let's just start with question number 9. The fuel consumption estimates of Josie's car are 21.2 kilometers per liter on city, and on highway it is 23.3 kilometer per liter. The car's gas tank holds 40.2 liter of fuel. How far could Josie travel drive a full tank of gas on the highway before she runs out of the fuel? How far could she drive on a full tank of gas in the city? Okay, so in the city she can drive for 21.2, and on the highway she can do 23.3 kilometers. So how far could Josie drive in a full tank of gas on highway? The tank is 40.2 liter, right? You have to calculate how many distance he travel on highway, right? Highway is 23.3 kilometer. The distance is in 1 liter. The car covers 23.3. On highway, the car covers 23.3 kilometers per liter, right? And the fuel is 40.2 liter. You have to see in 40.2 liters how much distance car covers, right? So you have to calculate the total distance. So you have to do 40.24 times 23.3, right? Let me just multiply using calculator. That is 40.24 times 23.3. That would be 937.592 kilometers. That means the car will do, on highway the car will cover the distance 937.36. So same thing you have to do with the car. You have to multiply 40.2 with 21.2 and you will get the distance, right? Okay, the next one is find the cost of each item in the farmer's market. Which strategy will you use? Justify your choice. Okay, 2.56 kg of apples at 0.95 per kg, 10.5 kgs of potato at 1.19 per kg, and 0.25 kg of herbs at 2.48 per kg. Basically, you have to multiply the values with the amount you needed, right? You needed 2.5 kgs of potato. The price of 1 kg is 0.95. So you have to multiply 2.5 times 0.95, right? 2.56 times 0.95, that is 2.432. That would be 2.432. And you just have to multiply per kg cost with the amount you needed. Then you have to do 10.5 times. You have to do 10.5 times 1.19. So when you multiply, that makes 12.495. Same thing you have to do with the other one, right? Okay, let's just start with question number 11. The product of two decimals is 0.36. What might be the decimals be? Find as many answers as you can. So you can just find any numbers whose decimal is 0.36. They can be 0.9 times 0.4, 0.6 times 0.6, right? Okay, the next one is multiply 18 times 12, right? Let's just do 18 times 12. That is 216. Okay, now you have to find each product. You have only one decimal place here, right? So it would be 21.6 for this one. Here you have two decimal places, that would be 22.16, right? The basic concept is how do you move the decimal point when you are multiplying with the, right? Then you have 0.18. Again, you have the decimal point right after two digits, so it would be 2.16. And here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places, so it would be 0.0216. All right. Okay, let's just start with the question number 13. Multiply 6.3 times 1.8, 0.37 times 0.26. Look at the questions and products in part A. What pattern do you see in the numbers of decimal places in questions and products? How could you use the pattern to place the decimal point in product without estimating? Right? So let's just multiply them using calculator, then we'll see the pattern. Okay, 6.3 times 1.8, that would be 11.34. The next one is 0.37 times 0.26, that would be 3.52 times 2.8, that would be 8.448. Okay, you can see that their sum is the position of the decimal is equal to the sum of the question's number of decimal. Like here you have decimal point after one digit and one digit, 1 plus 1 2. Here you have 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2 makes 4, right? Okay, 2.6 times 3.5 is 9.1, right? You can write 9.0. Here you have two decimal places, right? Does the pattern part B holds true? If your answer is no, explain why. The rule is applicable, right? But the calculator usually don't show this zero. It would be 9.10, right? Okay, we are done with 3.4 also. We'll do 3.5 in the next session. We'll start with 3.5 in the next session, right? So we're working on grade 7 maths. The lessons we have covered today are adding and subtracting decimals and multiplying decimals. Will do dividing decimals in the next session, right? So please make sure you have to complete the questions I skipped. So if you need help with the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. So that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone.